Hello fellow musicians, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about the origins of how I became a Star Wars fan. And so, pretty much, I technically did not watch my first Star Wars movie until I was 11, and that was partially because my mom did not let me watch a Star Wars movie until I was 11, and after I watched it, I said, "Ma, why didn't you let me watch Star Wars up to now? Why didn't you want me to watch cause it has violence in it?" I said, "Ma, I watched the Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching Power Rangers. Grew up watching like Kung Fu Panda, Spider-Man, Batman, Kim Possible, Lilo and Stitch. Some like Disney Channel shows that has violence in it. Cartoon Network shows that has violence in it, like Kids Next Door. And I'm also going to bring up Nickelodeon as well. Kids Next Door, Pokemon, I said Kim Possible, but I'm going to count that. Lab Rats, Yu-Gi-Oh, which was a Saturday morning thing. Naruto, One Piece, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z, etc. I had violence in it. And she said, "Yeah, you have a point. I'm sorry about that." Alright, she might have not said sorry about that, but I do remember having her saying something on those lines. But before I tell you which Star Wars movie was my first Star Wars movie, officially, I've always seen like bits and pieces of Star Wars here and there. Never really cared much about Star Wars at that time. My my main love was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so my brother was trying to get me to watching the Clone Wars, Volume 1 and 2. This was the Clone Wars series that did not have Ahsoka in it. And at the time, I don't know why, because I rewatched that Clone Wars series like 2 years ago and again last year, and I fell in love with the series. But when I first saw it as a kid, I thought it was like one of the most stupid things I've ever seen. I don't know why, but of course now that I'm older and I've seen all 6 movies, I'm not counting the Disney Star Wars movies yet, I have a better appreciation for the Clone Wars and I like it more. And so I was kind of introduced to the Revenge of the Sith, and it was the final battle. Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Yoda versus Darth Sidious, the Emperor. And I said to myself, hey, this is not bad. Get to see people with laser swords fighting each other, cutting each other's limbs off, and that was not supposed to happen. So I thought that was cool. So I decided to go back to watch Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And I was surprised, like, after I watched all 6 movies, that the way, like, in order of when the Star Wars movies were made, was 4, 5, 6, then George Lucas waited, like, about 20 years to do 1, 2, and 3. I was saying, really? That's kind of confusing. I mean, in terms of the timeline, episode 1, 2, and 3 came before 4, 5, and 6. But in terms of them being released, 4, 5, and 6 came out before 1, 2, and 3. And now that Disney has 7, 8, 9, or 9 coming out in like 2 months. Yeah, so now the release dates are like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. I'm personally happy I did not watch the Star Wars movies when I was a kid, because that would literally throw me off when I was learning how to count. But yeah, so my first Star Wars movie was that I've watched from beginning to end that I count as my official Star Wars movie was Revenge of the Sith. So The Phantom Menace is technically my second. Attack of the Clones is my third. And then, yeah. And so, I was excited. I mean, I was able to, like, go to Florida in 2012 for this thing Disney had, like, I think every May for like 2 weeks called Star Wars Weekend, which is where I got this shirt from. And it was pretty much like Star Wars Celebration, but Disney-fied. And this was pre-Disney Star Wars. And I thought it was pretty fun. I have Mickey Mouse's lightsaber somewhere. And it was pretty fun. I enjoyed myself. I got to meet the guy who played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, while I also got autograph from James Arnold Taylor, who did Obi-Wan Kenobi in both Clone Wars series. That's awesome. And so, the year after, I went to Star Wars Celebration, which by this time would be 2013. Star Wars, or Lucasfilms, was sold to Disney. I was saying, sweet, so we get to see more Star Wars. Because how the Star Wars community, like how new Star Wars stuff was getting out, it was through books and video games. So, and my favorite Star Wars game that I've played in pre-Star Wars, pre-Disney days is The Force Unleashed 1. And so I thought, yeah. And then when I heard Disney pretty much rebooting the Star Wars canon, I was saying, really? That sucks. But truthfully, my favorite Star Wars game that's canon is the one Star Wars game that you guys see me stream constantly, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I am planning on making a video on my thoughts about the new update soon. But, I'm not gonna really get too deep in how I feel about this Disney Star Wars. But Rogue One, I loved. Saw it 3 times in theaters. That's how much I loved it. Cosplay 2 as a Jedi 2 of those 3 times as when I went to The Force Awakens. Yeah, it was like a carbon copy of A New Hope, but I loved it. I felt like it was a pretty decent setup movie for episode 8. But then Rogue One came along, which was Disney's first standalone movie in the Star Wars universe, but technically the second Star Wars standalone movie. But in my opinion, the first and only awesome standalone movie Star Wars got is Rogue One. I mean, was Rogue One really needed to be made? Not really. But it was a good movie. I liked the plot, which was how the rebels learned that the Empire were building a Death Star, and how a small group of rebels towards the end were trying to transmit the Death Star plans to the Republic, or Rebel Alliance, and it kind of shows us how Princess Leia got the plans, which we see her giving the plans to R2-D2 in A New Hope. And I like that. It felt Star Wars to me. And to be honest, it feels the most Star Wars movie out of the Disney Star Wars movies. And then, like a year later, comes, The Last Jedi. Not only me, but a lot of people had high expectations for The Last Jedi. based from Force Awakens, because the Force Awakens, like I said, was a great setup. It built, it's, it set up what the Last Jedi could have been beautifully. Was the Last Jedi could have been a very beautiful movie, and I saw the Last Jedi 3 times in theaters, cosplayed once to it the first time. Truthfully, I loved it at the time when I saw it. I was on this like fan high, but then when the fan high went down, I realized I don't really love it as much as I thought I did. I don't hate it, like some fans do, but I don't exactly love it. Like there are like very few aspects, and I do stress few, that I do enjoy from the movie, but for the most part, yeah, so I just feel like it doesn't exactly entirely feel like Star Wars per se. And I do understand a lot of people's complaints about the movie itself, and I was always okay with grumpy old Luke Skywalker for most of the movie because first, since we kind of got a tease of the old Luke that we knew from the original trilogy coming back towards the end, I figured we could have had one more Star Wars movie with Luke alive. But when I saw that he died for being force projected, I was upset even the first time. That's always been one of my biggest complaints in The Last Jedi, that how they handled Luke Skywalker dying. Like, I don't mind, I didn't exactly mind the fact that Luke Skywalker died in The Last Jedi. It's just the way he died is how is the issue I have in terms of that scenario. And so I've heard Lucasfilms bashing Star Wars fans who criticized The Last Jedi. I said, oh God, please stop. Lucasfilms are making things look bad on yourselves. You're pushing customers away. And Solo, the box office, partially showed that. And I mean, Solo, there's like multiple reasons why Solo failed. One, because nobody really wanted a Han Solo movie. Two, nobody really asked for a Han Solo movie. Everybody wanted a Obi-Wan Kenobi movie more than a Han Solo movie. And three is because people at Lucasfilms kept on bashing fans who had any criticisms of The Last Jedi. And I can't blame them. When it was announced that Solo was the lowest grossing Star Wars movie ever, I was not surprised. After seeing the people behind Lucasfilm's reaction to any criticism they take with their Star Wars movies, like really? And I've seen Solo. I don't think it was the best Star Wars movie. It wasn't the worst, because in my opinion, the worst is the Holiday Special. But the worst part of that movie, in my opinion, is L3. She was annoying. If you guys think Jar Jar Binks is the most annoying Star Wars character, then go watch Solo Star Wars Story. Then come back to me, seeing which Star Wars character is more annoying between the two, Jar Jar Binks or L3. And so, yeah, people at Lucasfilms been bashing fans who has any criticism against their version of Star Wars for the past 2 years, pushing some fans away. Some fans don't want to see Episode 9 because you've been bashing fans who've been criticizing your films, people behind Lucasfilms, and that's not the smartest thing. And you can't bash people without really expecting not to get called out on. I mean, I do that all the time on my channel with the Wild War Cry. But we're not going to go into much detail with the Wild War Cry at the moment. So, when the final trailer for Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker, which is the only trailer that we got technically, because the last two were like teasers. I I did enjoy the trailers. I did enjoy the. I mean, sorry. I did enjoy the trailer. I did. I thought it was a beautiful trailer. It could be a good movie. Really get the sequel trilogy out of the mess it is today? No. But if people stop bashing fans who dislike their content, the hate will go down a bit. And here's the thing: if you're gonna bash your consumers for stuff, like for your them not liking your stuff, then that's showing that you're not really open to hearing anything. It's learning that you're willing to make that same mistake again. And it is leaving the door open for like episode 9 to be another solo, a Star Wars story, box office disaster for Star Wars standards. Nobody wants that. Everybody will be more. Watch, more people. If you keep this up and intensify the bashing Lucasfilms, more people is going to see the Cats musical live action movie than Star Wars. But long story short, I explained to you guys how I got into Star Wars, my excitement of Star Wars, and how my excitement of Star Wars has begun to die down. Now, granted, I still am in love with the first 6 Star Wars movies. I still love the Clone Wars, which I didn't really mention, but I do enjoy the Clone Wars movie and the series. I do really enjoy Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Yeah, this sequel trilogy may not be how George Lucas envisioned it to be, but there's that part of me that still enjoyed The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi and Solo, not as much as I do enjoy Rogue One and The Force Awakens. So, assuming that Rise of Skywalker fails in the box office like Solo did, I'm hoping, besides criticizing the fans, that Disney will look at it as a teaching moment. It's like, what aspects does the fans want? I mean, it is a business after all. Aren't you supposed to be wanting to get more money? Maybe you should listen to your fans by bashing them. Maybe that way the money train can go up and up and up. But yeah, didn't see a single Star Wars movie from start to finish up to I was 11, and it was Revenge of the Sith as my first favorite Star Wars movie. I mean, first Star Wars movie in general. And my favorite Star Wars movie, this is tied between 3. Rogue One, not Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, and Revenge of the Sith. My favorite Jedi is Luke Skywalker, which is not shown on the shirt, because he represents hope and that how, even though he didn't have that much growing up and he found out that his father is this evil dictator, that if you simply believe in someone hard enough, then they can have the potential to change. And Luke Skywalker has taught me stuff, and I have applied it to my personal life. But that's how. So yeah, that's long story short. That's the journey on how I became a Star Wars fan, and I'll always be a Star Wars fan to my heart, especially to the original 6 Star Wars movies, to what like old canon, which is now called Legends. I always be a fan to Clone Wars. Yes, I'll be a fan. I am a fan of Rebels, and I'll always be a fan of Rebels, even if I did not agree with all of the episodes. Like, I did enjoy every episode, but not some episodes, not as much as others. And I did enjoy The Force Awakens. I did and I still do. Even though it still kind of breaks my heart every single time. Now that I'm going to watch The Force Awakens, like whenever I watch The Force Awakens, I think of how George Lucas feels betrayed that they didn't go with his script. And I do love the Rogue One. I'm just disappointed in how Lucasfilm's been handling criticism from the fans. But anyways, that's my journey on how I became a Star Wars fan. What's your guys' journey on how you guys became a Star Wars fan? And what is your favorite Star Wars movie / character? Leave a comment below, and may the Force be with us all.